Dear students, welcome to our class on JRF, SRF, NET 2022. I would like to share with you in this class on major achievements in various crops. See, there are cereals, pulses, oil seeds, commercial crops, fodder crops, different crops are there in agriculture. Similarly, plantation crops are there, coconut, cashew, mango, whatnot. So, in all these crops, what is the real achievement after the independence in India? Would like to know. Okay. Now, the first crop is rice crop. Paddy, we also call it as paddy, rice crop. As you know, the conversion factors in the earlier classes I just discussed with you. Please refer to our previous classes on crops. Here, the specialty in this class is that how much area, how much production we have achieved from the independence. That from that viewpoint, I am covering for the benefit of all my beloved students. Okay, good. First crop, major achievements in various crops is the title of the today's class. Number one, rice crop. India is the second largest rice producing country with a share of 22% in the world after China. So, India is the second largest rice producing country with a share of 22% in the world, okay, after China. Now, India has a production of, for 2020-21 I am telling, India has a production of 124 million tons, 124 million tons during 2020-21 with the average productivity of 2.7 tons per hectare of rice or 4.1 tons per hectare of paddy. So, conversion factors. Now, see, rice area in the country remained almost same, 43 to 44 million hectares in the last 7.5 decades. This is an important point, please note. Around 43 to 44 million hectares of land in India is under paddy. It is almost same for the last 7.5 decades. That means for approximately 75 years, the area under paddy has not increased, but the production has increased tremendously. Area has not increased. Now, next crop, wheat. The total wheat produced in the country accounts for nearly 37% of the food grains production. Among the food grains, wheat occupies 37% of the total food grains. Since 2014-15, the country has witnessed a consecutive record output of wheat surpassing 100 million tons mark in the year 2018-19. Okay, so since 2014-15, there is a gradual increase in the production of wheat. It is a whooping in the year 2018-19, 100 million tons mark India has crossed. The production has witnessed a massive increase of over 16 times, 16 not percent, 16 times from 6.46 million tons in 1950-51 to 109.5 million tons during 2020-21. So this is a phenomenal increase. For your academic interest, since these are the figures, I read once again. The production has witnessed, the wheat production has witnessed a massive increase of over 16 times, 16 times, not 16%, from 6.46 million tons in 2050-51 to 109.52 million tons during 2020-21. This is what is a remarkable, phenomenal growth in the production and productivity of wheat. Now let us go to, after rice and wheat, let us see with reference to maize crop. Maize crop is also one of the major crops that is required for food security in India. Now, maize. The maize production in the country has increased over 15 times. The maize production in the country has increased over 15 times from just 2 million tons in the year 1950-51 to 30.24 million tons in the year 2020-21, with an average annual growth rate of 3.9%. For your academic interest, once again I read the statement and explain to you. The maize production in the country has increased over 15 times, 15 times, not percentage. Maize production has increased by 15 times as compared to 1950-51, which was around 2 million tons in the year 1950-51. Now it is 30.24 million tons in 2020-21, with an average annual growth rate of 3.9%. The productivity increased by 5.6 times and area by 2.93 times during the same period. Now productivity also had increased substantially. Once again, for your academic interest, I read very slowly. The productivity of maize increased by 5.6 times and area by 2.93 times during the same period. Which period? 7.5 decades ago. How it had gone up. Now let us see, after rice, wheat and maize, millets. With reference to millets, in India, millets are grown over 13.8 million hectares with a production of 17.3 million tons. The millets production contributes about 10% of country's food grain requirements. Coming to the pulses, in the post-independent India, pulses registered significant progress in the production from 8.4 million tons in the year 1950 to 25.72 million tons in 2021. Once again, for your academic interest, millets and pulses I will read. First I will read millets. In India, millets are grown over 13.8 million hectares with a production of 17.3 million tons. Similarly, pulses in the post-independent India registered significant progress in production from 8.41 million tons in the year 1950 to 25.72 million tons in 2021. The growth in the pulse production has been witnessed in the recent years, marching towards self-sufficiency, which could be regarded as a protein revolution. The pulses production is directly related to protein requirements of the Indian population. That's why it could be seen as a protein revolution. Which growth? The growth of pulses could be seen as could be regarded, in other words, as a protein revolution. Now let us see oil seeds. After rice, wheat, maize, millets and pulses, let us see with reference to oil seeds. Oil seeds account for 18% of arable land, 14.3% of gross cropped area in India. Once again, for your academic interest, since these are figures, I read very slowly. Oil seeds account for 18% of arable land, 14.3% of the gross cropped area in India. Now, next important point is India is the fourth largest vegetable oil economy in the world. Again, I repeat for your academic interest, my dear students, that India is the fourth largest vegetable oil economy in the world. India stands first in the production of certain oilseed crops. India stands first in the production of castor, sesame, safflower and niger. Once again, for your academic interest, castor, sesame, safflower and niger. In these crops, India stands number one in the production, whereas second in groundnut. India stands number 2 in the groundnut production, third in rapeseed and mustard, fourth in linseed and fifth in soybean. So this is the order. Once again, for your academic interest, second in groundnut, third in rapeseed mustard, fourth in linseed, and fifth in soybean. Now, in continuation, oilseeds are concerned, about 14 million farmers are engaged in oilseeds production and another million in their processing. This much employment is generated by oilseed crops. Among the edible oilseed crops, soybean 36%, groundnut 32%, rapeseed and mustard 29% contributed 97% of the total edible oilseeds production in India. Once again, for your academic interest, among the edible oilseed crops, soybean 36%, groundnut 32%, rapeseed and mustard 29% contributed 97% of the total edible oilseeds production. In contrary to production, the major contribution to the domestic edible oil kitty comes from rapeseed and mustard, 3.2 million tons, that is 45%, groundnut 1.8 million tons, that is 25%, soybean 1.8 million tons, that is 25%, amounting to 95% of production of major contributing factors for domestic edible oil. So these are the some facts about the oilseed crops. After rice, wheat, maize, millets, pulses, oilseeds, let us discuss something about commercial crops. These are sugarcane, cotton, jute. Okay, let us see with reference to sugarcane. Sugarcane is cultivated in an area of about 5 million hectares, which is about 3% of cultivated land in India. During 2019-20, India produced 405 million tons of cane, 27 million tons of sugar, 14 million tons of molasses. Once again, for your academic interest, during 2019-20, India produced 405 million tons of cane, 27 million tons of sugar, and 14 million tons of molasses. India became largest sugar producer during 2018-19, that is 33 million tons, which accounts for about 18% of sugar produced in the world. Once again, for your academic interest, I would like to read sugarcane. Sugarcane is cultivated in an area of about 5 million hectares, which is about 3% of cultivated land in India. During 2019-20, India produced 405 million tons of cane, 27 million tons of sugar, 14 million tons of molasses. India became largest sugar producer during 2018-19 with 33 million tons, which accounts for about 18% of sugar produced in the world. Now, so let us see with reference to cotton. In India, cotton is grown in about 13 million hectares, 13 million hectares area with production of about 37 million bales. It is accounting to 6.3 million tons. 6.3 million tons in cotton. Cotton is grown in India in about 13 million hectares with the production of about 37 million bales, 170 kg bales. This bit also likely to come. 170 kg bales, we call it. If it is jute, it is 180. Okay, right. So India accounts for about 36 to 38% of global cotton acreage and 25% of production. More than a third of the world's fabric needs and over 60% of clothing demand in India are met by cotton. See the importance of cotton. Once again, for your academic interest, more than a third of world fabric needs and over 60% of clothing demand in India are met by cotton. Such an important crop. Cotton provides 60% of raw material to the textile industry and comprises 30% of total textile exports. 60% of raw material, 30% of total exports in the country. Okay, in the country. Now let us see with reference to jute crop. The raw jute sector supports the livelihood of approximately 4 million farm families and also provides direct employment to 37 lakh workers in organized mills and diversified activities in jute trading. Actually, jute is used in India for packing purposes and everything, as you know. Now, India is the largest producer and consumer of jute and jute production in the world. India is the largest producer and consumer of jute and jute products. Now, let us see with reference to fodder crops, the last crop for today. The major cultivated fodder crops in India are sorghum, maize, bajra, coffee in Kharif season, oats, lucerne and bersim in the Rabi season. Among the perennial crops, bajra, Napier hybrid, guinea grass, perennial lucerne, perennial sorghum, stylus and thus, okay, these are all the different fodder crops grown in different parts of India. For example, about 20 major fodder crops are cultivated in India around 9 million hectares, which has almost remained static for at least 3 to 4 decades. Like rice crop has never increased from 43 or 44 million hectares in the last 7.5 decades. Similarly, in case of jute also, about 20 major fodder crops are, with reference to fodder crops, about 20 major food crops are cultivated in around 9 million hectares. This 9 million hectares is static for over 7.5 decades. These are all the important crops that I would like to discuss with you in this class. We meet in our next class with some more information on major achievements in crops. So, thanking you very much for your very patient hearing.